All sit in prayerful posture. And you can start with your prayer at your place. Okay, slowly you can open your eyes. Today we are going to start with the poem, The Solitary Reaper. Keep the books in front of you. You can just keep it with it. The Solitary Reaper. Solitary means alone. And reaper means the ones who cut the crops when they are harvested. When they are ready to cut, the harvesting is done. So that they are known as reapers. This poem is written by William Wordsworth. The poem, The Solitary Reaper, is written by William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth was an English poet. Most of his poems celebrate the beauty of nature. And some of his famous poems include The Lucy and The Prelude. This is a lyrical poem, musical poem. So in this poem, in this lyrical poem, he describes, the poet describes the beauty of a reaper's song while she is at work. Am I audible, children? You can just show me thumbs up. Am I audible to all? Okay, thank you. So he tries to understand what she is singing about. He tries to understand what she's singing because she is singing in her own language. Because she's from Scotland. So in Scottish language she's speaking. So he's unable to understand. But he's trying to just make out that what she is singing about. And the tune affects him so deeply that he carries the music in his heart long after he has left the scene. So all of you just look into your books. I'm just going to recite The Solitary Reaper. Behold her single in the field, yon solitary highland lass, reaping and singing by herself, stop here or gently pass. Alone she cuts and binds the grain, and sings a melancholy strain. Oh, listen, for the vale profound is overflowing with the sound. No nightingale did ever chaunt more welcome notes to weary bands of travelers in some shady haunt among Arabian sands. A voice so thrilling never was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird, breaking the silence of the seas among the farthest Hebrides. Will no one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow for old, unhappy, far-off things and battles long ago. Or is it some more humble lay, familiar matter of today? Some natural sorrow, loss or pain that has been and may be again. Whatever the theme, the maiden sang, as if her song could have no ending. I saw her singing at her work and over the sickle bending. I listened motionless and still, and as I mounted up the hill, the music in my heart I bore, long after it was heard no more. So while listening, what you have noticed about this poem? Listening to the poem, what have you noticed about the poem? Yes, thumbs up you can show me. I'll just ask, unmute you. What have you noticed at the end of the lines? Have you noticed anything? Samya, yes? Samya? Samya, can you hear? Diksha? Diksha Chaudhary?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you noticed anything?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please tell.
Ma'am, the poet is praising and appreciating the song which a maiden is singing while at her work.
And what about the wordings? Rhyming words. Have you noticed?
Yes, ma'am.
There are rhyming words, isn't it? Have you seen that? Lass, pass, rain,
Yes,
strain, profound, sound. So these are rhyming words.
words.
So here, and this poem is in the form of ballad. The Solitary Reaper is in the form of ballad. You can just write down B-A-L-L-A-D. Ballad. Ballad is a form of poem in a narrative manner or in a form of story. Such poems are called as ballad poems. B-A-L-L-A-D. So here the poet says, William Wordsworth says, that behold her single in the field, yon solitary highland lass, reaping and singing by herself. That she is holding herself single, she is alone in the field, in the farm. Yon means here, there. Alone, solitary means alone. She is alone in the highland is here means the mountains, the regions in the mountains. Reaping and singing by herself. So she is reaping, cutting the crops which are ready to harvest, and she is also singing while cutting the crops. Stop here or gently pass. And the poet is saying that he is also involving the readers in the poem, that all those who are there, his poet is saying that please don't disturb her. Either you listen to her song or you slowly move away. Alone she cuts and binds the grain. She is making the what you call that, keeping something together, okay, to bind something together and tie it, and sings a melancholy strain. Melancholy means sad, sad. She's singing a, the poet feels that she's singing a sad song. Oh, listen for the wail profound. So, poet is saying that, oh, wail here is the valley. Valley, you know, there are mountains, two mountains. Between the two mountains, there is a valley, plain area. So, the poet is saying that she is singing in the valley, and it is so profound. It is so deep. The song is so deep and is overflowing with the sound. That the song which she is singing, it is overflowing with the sound. No nightingale did ever chant. Nightingale, you know, it's a kind of bird. Nightingale sings beautifully. So here the poet is making comparison between the girl and the nightingale, between the song of the girl and the song of the nightingale. More welcome notes to weary bands of travelers in some shady haunts. So the poet is saying that she welcomes with her song those who are the travelers, those who are coming by or those who are passing by. Among the Arabian sands, in the Arabian sands. A voice of thrilling never was heard. So the poet is saying that such a thrilling voice never heard before. It was never heard before. In springtime from the cuckoo bird, breaking the silence of the seas. Cuckoo, you know, it's a bird also. It's these cuckoo sayings, isn't it? Many of you might have heard, isn't it? Cuckoo. Isn't it? Sings like this. So the poet is comparing the voice of the girl with the song of the cuckoo bird. Breaking the silence of the seas. And this song is breaking the silence of the sea. Among the farthest Hebrides. Among the farthest means which are very far away. Hebrides means they are the islands. Hebrides island group. It is a group of islands which is in the western and northern Scotland in the Atlantic Ocean. Will no one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow. So the poet is asking the readers that anybody will tell me that what she is singing, because she is singing in her own language and the poet is not able to understand the wordings. Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow. Plaintive is here mournful. So poet is just guessing. He's thinking that maybe she is singing a sad song, mournful song, and battles long ago for old unhappy far off things and battles long ago, or is it some more humble lay? So the poet is asking that whether she's just singing for the maybe some battles have fought in the past, or is it some other more humble lay? Humble lay means any ordinary song, familiar matter of today, some natural sorrow, loss or pain that has been and maybe again. Or the poet is thinking that maybe she is singing a song because she is sad, she has lost someone, or she is in pain. Because you people sing songs, isn't it? When they are sad, or they are not happy, they sometimes sing that song. So this is the imagination of the poet, because he is not able to understand the wordings. Whatever the theme the maiden sang, as if her song could have no ending, I saw her singing at her work and over the sickle bending. So the poet is saying that whatever is the theme of the song means that whatever the topic of the song is, whether it is sad or whether it is painful, as if her song could have no ending, but it was looking like that her song will never end, because she was singing very beautifully. I saw her singing at her work and over the sickle bending. So the poet is saying that he saw the girl in the farm singing song while doing her work by cutting the crops. And over the sickle is a kind of farming tool, isn't it? It has sharp blades and a wooden handle, so they cut the grass or the crops with the sickle. I listened motionless and still, and as I mounted up the hill, the music in my heart I bore, long after it was heard no more. So the poet is saying that he listened to the song motionless. He was just standing still and he was listening to the song. And as he moved up towards the hill, because he was going, the music in my heart I bore. So touching the song was, and the singing of the girl was so touching and beautiful, that the poet had that in his mind, in his heart it bore, long after it was heard no more. As he moved further from the farm, but still that note of the song was in his mind, isn't it? When you love some songs, isn't it? So again and again you sing that, you repeat, isn't it, those songs, the songs which you love. So that the poet also is saying that the song was so beautiful that although he had gone far away from her, he was not able to hear her, but still that musical song and beautiful uh, rhythm of the poem, of the song, was in his heart, in his mind. So this is the Solitary Reaper, the poem. I hope children you have understood what the poet wants to tell in the poem, William Wordsworth. Now you just listen carefully. The summary of the poem I'll just tell you, okay? I'll just summarize it. I've explained it stanza wise. Now you just please listen to the summary of the poem. The speaker in the poem, the speaker means the poet, William Wordsworth. He draws the reader's attention to a Scottish farm girl singing to herself while cutting corn during harvesting, cutting the crops during the harvesting. He asks the readers to stop and listen or walk away quietly without disturbing her. The poet is asking these people, the readers, that they should not disturb her. They should either listen to her or slowly they should walk away. He walks alone, cutting the corn and binding them into sheaves. He sings a sad song that vibrates throughout the valley. I've told valley, it is a plain area between two mountains. The impact of the song is as welcoming as a song of the nightingale. The poet is saying that the impact of the song is so welcoming. He's comparing the song with the nightingale, the bird. In an oasis. Oasis is a watery place in the desert. Oasis. To the Arabian travelers, those who are traveling there across the hot desert sands. Her voice is sweeter than the voice of cuckoo. First, he is comparing her with the nightingale, and in the next stanza, he is comparing her with the cuckoo bird that sings in spring on the Scottish islands of Hebrides. He could not make sad songs about some ancient petals. So he's just trying it out, that what she was singing, as she was singing in her own language. He imagines that she could be singing sad songs about some ancient battles. He's thinking that maybe some battle was fought in the past and she is sad about it. That's why she's singing, or she has lost someone, or she is in a pain. So that's why she is singing a sad song. He stood still for a while listening to her. The poet stood still there and he was listening to her. And as he walked up the hill, as he moved away from the hill, he carried the tune in his heart. The tune was so beautiful and the song was so beautiful that the poet carried the tune in his heart long after he could hear her no more. Because he was moving, so when you move from a person far away, if somebody is talking or singing, you are slowly and slowly, you won't be able to hear that person. So here we have, in the poem, we have, rhyming scheme. In the poem, in this poem, there are words in the rhyming scheme. So you can just see the first line, we say, behold her single in the field. But in the second line, the end is lass. In the third line, field and herself. So they are not matching. So the rhyming scheme here will be BB, CC and DD. Okay. For example, you can just write in front of the second line B. Then we have in the fourth line B. So they are same, isn't it? BB. Then grain and strain, you can write CC. Grain and strain, because they are rhyming. Profound and sound, both are matching. So DD you can just write down in front of that. So this is the rhyming scheme of the poem. BB, CC and DD. I hope children you have understood. Can show me thumbs up? Have you understood about the rhyming scheme and the poem? Okay, thank you. So we'll just revise it once again, the poem. Okay, I'll just ask you some questions. You can raise your hands. What was the reaper doing when the speaker first saw her? What was the reaper doing when the speaker first saw her? Yes. Who is this one? Seerath? Seerath, can
Ma'am,
you...
when this. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please tell what was the reaper doing?
Ma'am, when the speaker first saw the reaper,
Yes.
ma'am, she was reaping her. She was reaping a song, and she was in an old fashion. She was reaping and singing a song, and she was in old-fashioned clothes.
She was reaping what? Crops. She
A
was
song.
reaping the crops. She was cutting the crops and singing a song. Yes, Anhad?
Yes, ma'am.
Why does the speaker compare reaper's song, that of nightingale and cuckoo? Why he's comparing?
Ma'am, he was comparing the song of Reaper with the Nightingale because no nightingale has ever sung a old sad tune before.
And
She was singing
because
an old-fashioned
she was
song.
singing very beautifully. Because
Beautifully.
nightingale and cuckoo, they are known for their
Singing.
beautiful singing. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? Yes, Ruby? Ruby, can you hear? Ruby, can you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
why was the speaker not able to understand the song? Why he was not able to understand? Yes? Anybody else? Manat? Yes,
ma'am.
Manat?
Ma'am, the speaker was not able to understand her because she was singing in her language.
Because she was singing in her own language, Scottish language. Okay, good. How did the song affect the poet? How did the song affect the poet? Manat Malik, can you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How it affected him?
Ma'am, because he likes the song that she sing, and she likes the song that she sing, and it just.
He liked the song. Okay. Because she was singing very
So beautifully.
beautifully. Okay. So it had a great impact on him while he was moving away. Still that tune and song was in his heart.
Mind.
Oh, and mind. Okay. Yes, Harneet Kaur. Harneet, what are you doing?
Ma'am,
Are you listening?
Yes, ma'am.
Who is the poet? Who is the poet of the poem?
William Wordsworth.
William Wordsworth. Okay. What is sickle?
Sickle.
Yes.
Ma'am,
In the poem I just told, it's a tool. A kind of
Yes.
tool which is used in farming.
Farming.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Samriti, can you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, a farming tool with curved blades.
Yes. Sickle is a kind of tool for cutting the crops or grass. So children, I hope you have understood the poem.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Vanchika, can you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
You have joined just now.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So please tell what kind of song the girl was singing. What kind of song she was singing? It was a sad song. It was a
Yes, ma'am.
sad
Sad song.
song. Pushika, okay,
Yes,
please tell
Sad song. Sad song.
where was this poet moving? Where was the poet moving? He was moving toward, yes,
He was moving towards the hill.
to the hills, to the mountains. Okay, thank you, children. So please read the poem. Okay, the word meanings please learn. Try to find the answers, and then I'll just send you to check your answers. Okay, thank you and take care.
Thank you, ma'am.